Today, we're going to simplify one of the most complex industries in America, real estate. Rather than looking at it as a collection of transactions, we'll look at it as a game board. Every game has players, rules, advantages, obstacles, and strategies. Right now, the rules are changing faster than most people realize. Large corporations are consolidating power. Economic conditions are creating new challenges, and technology is reshaping how buyers and sellers make decisions. My goal today is to explain what's happening in plain language so that anyone can understand where the market is headed and how to navigate it successfully. This is Steve Koleno, and this is Confidential Remarks. If you remember nothing else from today, remember these three storylines. First, large corporate players are becoming more powerful and influencing how the market operates. Second, interest rates have fundamentally changed affordability and transaction volume, making the environment much more difficult than it was just a few years ago. Third, technology and artificial intelligence are accelerating change faster than most agents, consumers, and companies can adapt. These three forces are interacting at the same time, and together they're redefining what success looks like in real estate. Before we discuss market disruptions, we need to understand the foundation. The MLS, or a multiple listing service, is essentially the central marketplace for residential real estate. Think of it as the Amazon of housing inventory. It provides a shared system where agents can market homes openly and where buyers can see what's available. The value of the MLS comes from transparency. When everyone can see the same information, buyers compete fairly and sellers have the best opportunity to achieve market value for their homes. One of the biggest developments in real estate has been industry consolidation. Large companies are acquiring competitors and expanding their influence. The example shown here demonstrates how major players are gaining market share and increasing their control over transactions in key regions. The concern isn't simply size. The concern is whether concentration of power reduces competition, limits consumer choice, or influences how the marketplace operates. As companies grow larger, regulators and consumers naturally begin asking tougher questions. Whenever markets become concentrated, regulators tend to step in. What we're seeing now is increased attention from attorneys, general regulators, and legal authorities who want to ensure competition remains healthy. The core issue is whether dominant organizations are using their scale to influence market behavior in ways that disadvantage competitors or consumers. Regardless of where investigations ultimately lead, the larger message is clear. Transparency, competition, and consumer protection are becoming major priorities across the industry. This highlights an important debate. On one side is the open market, where every qualified buyer can see a property. On the other side are private or pocket listings that are shown only to select audiences. The argument for open exposure is straightforward. More visibility typically creates more competition, and more competition often results in better outcomes for sellers. While private listings may have valid uses in specific circumstances, limiting exposure can reduce the number of potential buyers and affect pricing power. That's why this issue has become such a major focus throughout the industry. In response to concerns about transparency, several states have begun taking action. The objective is simple: protect consumers by ensuring they fully understand the implications of limiting market exposure. The trend we're seeing is toward greater disclosure and greater accountability. Regulators want sellers making informed decisions, not decisions based on incomplete information. As these policies expand, transparency is likely to become an increasingly important standard across the country. One of the most dangerous business strategies is confusing hope with evidence. Many market participants are expecting a rapid recovery, lower rates, and stronger transaction activity. But successful professionals don't build plans around wishes. They build plans around data. While there are encouraging signs in the economy, affordability challenges and higher borrowing costs continue to impact buyers and sellers. The winners in this environment are the people who make decisions based on facts rather than forecasts. Real estate is local, but interest rates are influenced by global events. Energy markets, inflation, international conflicts, government policy, and central bank decisions all play a role in determining borrowing costs. That's why predicting mortgage rates is so difficult. Many people assume rates move only because of housing demand, but the reality is far more complex. Understanding these broader economic forces helps explain why the market can change, even when local conditions appear stable. One of the biggest misconceptions in real estate is that spending more money automatically creates more business. In reality, many professionals invest heavily in advertising without understanding what's actually producing results. The problem isn't necessarily the advertising platforms. The problem is the lack of measurement and accountability. If you can't track where opportunities originate, you can't improve performance. Growth comes from understanding the numbers, not simply increasing the budget. Top-performing professionals treat lead generation like a science. They track every source, every interaction, and every outcome. When someone responds to an advertisement, a social media post, or a referral, successful organizations know exactly where that opportunity came from. More importantly, they respond quickly and consistently. The difference between average performers and top performers is often not talent. It's the discipline of building systems that create predictable results. Artificial intelligence is no longer a future trend. It's becoming a practical business tool today. AI is improving advertising, customer communication, property research, market analysis, and consumer experiences. The organizations that learn how to leverage these tools effectively will gain significant advantages in speed, efficiency, and decision-making. Just as the internet transformed business 20 years ago, AI has the potential to reshape how real estate operates over the next decade. As we close, the lessons are straightforward. First, play fair. Transparency creates trust, and trust creates stronger outcomes for consumers. Second, face reality. Build strategies around facts, not assumptions. The market rewards preparation, not wishful thinking. Third, track everything. Measurement is the foundation of improvement, and improvement is the foundation of growth. The real estate game is changing, but the opportunity remains enormous for those who understand the rules and adapt to them. Thank you for your time, and this has been Confidential Remarks.